In today's video, we're going to be talking about a few things. Number one, what our method of cloth diapering two children at the same time is, now that we have two little ones, as well as kind of a look back at the last almost 3 years of doing cloth diapers, what I loved, what I wish I would have changed, all of that. So hopefully I've already made some of the mistakes for you and you can just learn from them. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Liz. I'm a family nurse practitioner, working mom. I cloth diaper my children. And these videos are on random topics on Tuesdays. And on Saturdays, I have a vlog documenting my life doing those things. But today's video is all about diapers. All right, so for a little bit of background, I have a almost 3-year-old and an 8-month-old, and we have been cloth diapering both of them from when they were each 1 month old. And one of the biggest questions I've gotten is, how are you doing it with 2 kids? Has anything changed? And it has, so let's talk about that first. If you need a little bit of background, I do have quite a few videos about cloth diapering, what inserts I like, what diapers I like, all of that. And I will leave all of those linked down in the description below, as well as a one-on-one of like literally how I cloth diaper, kind of like the whole process, wash, all of that. So if you're super brand new at this, those videos are gonna have a lot of resources for you. And if you don't find your answers there, do leave them down in the comments of this video or any of my other ones, and I'll be happy to answer them. So cloth diapering with 2 kids, can you do it? Yes, I feel like most of us probably already knew that answer. Biggest thing that's changed with cloth diapering 2 kids at once is we no longer stuff the diapers. So we use pocket diapers, and I used to stuff all the diapers before, like right after I washed them, I would fold them and then stuff them so that when I was ready to use them, I would pull them off the shelf and it was ready to go already. And I don't do that anymore just because the diapers that I want to use are going to change every time. So the baby uses different inserts than the toddler. The size of the diaper itself is going to change based on the baby. I don't know how many of each one I'm going to need. I don't know what kind of inserts I even need. Like, is it nap time? Do they need more absorbency, or are we around home and it can be just something thin so when they pee I can change it right away? It's all changed so much that it became very overwhelming to try to stuff it ahead of time. And it's taken me 3 seconds to just like, oop, I want this and this, throw it together and put it here. So if you've watched our other videos, you know, we stored their diapers, we used to, when I pre-stuffed them, in this little rolling cart that we put in the bathroom. Now we've moved our storage to our laundry room. You could do this under your sink in the bathroom. You could do this in the exact same cart, just like don't pre-stuff them. We just lay everything out by its type. So we go through after we wash them, we sort them into piles. I pre-fold, I love flour sack towels as inserts. So I pre-fold all of those, and then we just have them laying out in our laundry room, which is right next to our bathroom. So it's super easy to go grab exactly what we need, put together the diaper that's made specifically for that kid, like in that moment, and then put it on the baby or toddler. So that's something I would definitely recommend if you have 2 children. We obviously have to pre-make them when we send them over to daycare. And sometimes I'll make a couple quick ones in the morning if I know like this day's gonna get real crazy and at 2 p.m. I'm not gonna wanna deal with this. But for the most part, we just kind of make them as we go. And that's really the only thing that has changed. We do wash a lot more frequently. I did not buy any more diapers. That's a lie. I bought like 5 more diapers for when we had our second one. I was really hopeful that the toddler might want to potty train, but she is not jumping on that train at all. So it's fine. Everything's fine. But the biggest thing that changed there is we have like 40 something diapers, and that used to last us obviously like quite a few days. Now it lasts us like 2 or 3. So we're doing diaper laundry a lot, but it's not the end of the world. And if you didn't want to do that, you would just have to buy a few more diapers. I've gotten a couple questions about like, do you use the same diaper for both the girls? We do. We assume that, you know, they're eating the same things, they're exposed to the same things, they probably have the same, all the things. So if that grosses you out, I guess you could always split it between your children, but we use the exact same pockets for each kid. Like one day it could go on the toddler, the next it could go on the baby, then back on the toddler, obviously washing in between. So we don't necessarily differentiate there for people who live within our own home. Not that I don't know who else you would be sharing baby diapers with. So is it possible to cloth diaper 2? Yes. Is it a little bit more work? Yes. And it's annoying. And it lights the fire under you to potty train the toddler, but just be warned, it doesn't necessarily light the fire under the toddler to become potty trained. Okay? Yikes. Okay, so now for our updates section where we're 3 years later, which is insane. I cannot wrap my mind around the fact that I have almost a 3-year-old, and we've been doing this for so long. So here's where I'm going to pretend that I'm wise and tell you some things that I've learned and which diapers I've really loved and which one I'm like, you can leave our party, AKA they're already gone. They've actually turned into like doll diapers. So I mean, are still living on, just in a very different way, and which ones I've absolutely loved, and try to impart some wisdom on you if you're just beginning this journey or if you're just curious. Also, I was going to incorporate a Q&A inside this video, and then I got so many questions, which is so great. I'm just going to do a whole dedicated Q&A video. So if you have any questions, I'll probably leave a question poll over on Instagram, but you can leave them on this video too. And when I film that Q&A video soon, I'll incorporate all of those in there as well. And it'll just be a better way to present that rather than this video being such a hodgepodge. Okay. Diapers that I don't like and wouldn't necessarily use. Elf, I know I made a video a long time ago talking about my favorite diaper brands, and I really liked them there, and I love their fit, guys. Their fit is so great. It's so stretchy on the pull around, but those were the first ones that randomly started to leak. Nothing looks like it's wrong with the PU well. That's that plasticky kind of lining inside the diaper. I can't find a rip in it. I can't find that it's like peeling away. The diapers just started leaking after about 2 years. So those have all become doll diapers. We don't use any of those anymore. I won't be buying any more. And the only other one we've really had issues with is we had a Happy Beehinds one, and I really like a lot of their inserts and even some of their other diapers, but the Happy Beehinds, like original, their own diaper, I didn't like it. It started to randomly leak at around 2-ish years as well. So I was kind of like, you're gone. You've been demoted to a swim diaper, which, by the way, fun fact, did you know your cloth diapers, if you're using like a pocket or a shell, could just become a swim diaper? All swim diapers do is catch poop. Also, I didn't know that until I was like well into being a parent. I'm like, where does the pee go? Someone's like, oh no, diapers for the pool, they just catch the poop. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never going in a public pool again. JK. But any of your diapers that you don't end up liking, you can graduate to swim diapers. Fun fact. Anyway, those two are the ones that I really don't like and I would not recommend buying. Fine while they work, but then they randomly just croak at 2 years. But I mean, again, both of them I think were like $5. So it's not like your investment was huge, but I have had other $5 diapers that are like 3 years strong. So you might as well go with those. Let's talk about some diapers that I love 3 years later. So when I got into cloth diapering, I bought Bumgenius diapers because the YouTube videos that I had watched were like, this is the best. And I was like, okay, so I registered for them and some wonderful people came together and bought me a couple of these Bumgenius diapers. I love those to this day. They are very expensive. They're, I want to say like 25-ish bucks a pop if you're buying them new. That's a lot of money, especially when you think of how many of these things you're gonna need. And how many you need is obviously gonna vary based on how many wash days you wanna do. So you could have a very small stash of them and it would be great. But there are more affordable ways to do it, friends, don't worry. But I will say, those Bumgenius diapers have held up really, really well. I have not had any issues with any of them. I have not had to replace the elastics. We'll talk about that more in just a second. No tears, no leaks. Those are like my go-to. I love those. They've been really, really great with the caveat that they cost a lot more than a lot of the other diapers. So if that's an option for you, I think that's always like a great way to go. They've been really great quality and I've really enjoyed them. If that's something that you kind of want, like I'm gonna spend the money on it and I know I'm not gonna really have to put a lot of work into them, great option. But I also have diapers that were much cheaper than that I love. They just required a little bit of TLC along the way. So the two brands that I absolutely love the most and have continued to buy as I've gone on this journey have been Alva and Mama Koala. And I'll leave links to all of these down below. I wanna say each diaper in there is around in the $5 to $8-ish price range. The only thing that I've ever had happen with both of these diapers is about 2 years. So I feel like 2 years is kind of that point where things start to happen with a lot of these. The elastics, so the elastic that goes around the legs and then that goes around the back of the diaper to hug everything in, got loose on a good chunk of them. This is a very easily fixable problem. Nothing was wrong with the diaper itself. The shell was fine. The snaps, I haven't lost any snaps, anything like that. It was just the elastic. And obviously when the elastic is not there on your diaper, the poop slips out. So it's going to be something you're going to want to correct. Fortunately, there's lots of YouTube videos on how to correct it, and fixing it has probably cost me like $10 and I've replaced it on probably like 20 or 30 of my diapers at this point, because you need elastic. And I got this like nice rod thing to like help me shove the elastic through the diaper, and thread. So this is not like a high, and I'm not a great seamstress by any means. It's a very simple procedure. Plop on some Netflix and just sit there and fix some of your diapers. I'll leave links to the videos that I use to fix some of mine, but just know if you're buying some of those diapers, you may have to end up replacing some of the elastic down the line. If I was doing all of this again, I probably would have only bought Mama Koala and Alva because I can be a cheaper person versus paying like 5 times that for the Bumgenius, knowing that in a few years I'm gonna have to spend a few afternoons in front of the TV repairing these diapers. Not a big deal. Next biggest thing I wish I would have learned about earlier would have been flour sack towels. Those are such cheap, amazing inserts. I've used them alone for my tiny baby, and they're a perfect thing to double with just about any other kind of insert you have to kind of beef them up a little bit. They're so cheap. They just kind of get softer and better. Not that I use pockets so they don't touch my baby, but they just kind of get like softer and nicer with wear and use and wash. They're really absorbent. Like I said, they're really cheap. I have a whole video about them and how I fold them and all the things I'll leave below, but I wish I had discovered those a little bit earlier and bought like more. Like I didn't buy a ton. I don't know why, but I wish I would have just like bought more in the beginning to have that be my primary insert. Next, I wish I would have been a little bit less scared. I was so terrified that I was somehow going to like make one error in my wash routine and I don't know, they would all like be destroyed or something, when in reality, it's just not that big of a deal. You know what I mean, guys? Worst case scenario, you have to strip them. I've never had to strip mine because they're pretty forgiving. You can mess up quite a few times before you get to the point where you really just have to do a hard reset, which is stripping them. But I wish I would have just been like a little bit more low key. I will leave the links to some Facebook groups of some very friendly people. There's some Facebook groups that are very intense for cloth diapering. People get very intense. So I will leave some to some of the more kind communities that I have found out there that have a lot of cloth diapering help. I've learned a lot through them, and I wish I would have just allowed myself to be a little bit more flexible in the beginning versus like I thought I had to follow everything like by the book. I will say one of the things I wish we had switched to that a lot of people recommend in the beginning is Tide detergent. Unscented, nothing in it, just the regular Tide powder. That has been the thing that has cleaned our diapers the best. I also wish I would have known about Sunshine. It's ironic as that sounds. Sunshine will get like the actual sun. That's not a thing. Like taking your cloth diapers outside and putting them in the sun is wonderful for getting rid of if they start to like get some odor, and odor is usually a sign that just like something probably needs to be tweaked a little bit in your wash routine. Always change one thing at a time, by the way, friends. Don't like overhaul. Treat it like a science experiment. Change one thing at a time while you're trying to get this right. But also putting them in the sun gets rid of a lot of the odor. It'll get rid of all the stains that sometimes the diaper's clean, but that poop stain is like, it's in there, especially newborn baby poop. Like what on earth? But Sunshine, guys, it fixes most things. It puts you in a better mood because you're out there in it, putting all the things on the rack. You're getting some vitamin D. The diapers are whiter. They're clean. They smell better. All is well. And the last thing that I wish I had embraced earlier was just a little bit of laxness on my own self. So when my daughter turned 2.5, she decided that her primary drinking times were going to be between 6 p.m. and the morning sometime. So she was going to go, and that's when she was going to consume a lot of her water. Even when we tried to curtail that, like that girl started peeing a lot at night. And I tried my go-to nighttime diaper that worked forever and ever before that was a flour sack towel, a Thirsties hemp, and a bamboo. I'll leave all of those linked below, sandwiched together, and it held, that held a lot of pee, but it couldn't stand up to like 2.5. I'm gonna chug an entire water bottle overnight type of pee. And I was so dead set on like, I'm not gonna buy anything else, like not gonna do this. Some people do wool, and I just like didn't have the mental energy because I had a newborn to like dive into like wool and doing all this other stuff. So I kept trying to like change it up, and then the diaper was huge and busting at the seams. And finally my husband was like, let's just buy like an overnight disposable diaper. Put it off, because in my head I was like, nope, we're cloth diapering. Like we've got to figure this out. Guys, you don't have to figure it out. We switched to doing overnights. We just bought Huggies. I think it is Good Nights is what they're called. And that thing can hold an epic amount of pee. And yes, just give in. I get so many messages about people being like, my baby is the worst night wetter ever. And you're changing the sheets every morning and they wake up soaked. If you've tried all the nighttime inserts and all the combinations and the combo that I talked about and it's not working, give yourself permission to let them sleep in a disposable at night. It is worth, we spend about $25 a month, and it is worth every dollar, every penny, to just know like she's not gonna pee through it, her bed won't be soaked every single day. You have not failed as a cloth diapering parent or human if you do a different option at night. And I wish I had embraced that earlier because I really it ate at my soul. I was like, no, I cloth diaper, as if that's like something that's better than disposable diapering, when really like we're all just doing the best we can. You're doing a great job. Let it go, okay? If it's not working for you, if any of this is not working for you, let it go. I wish I had embraced that earlier. You're doing a wonderful job just the way you are. You do not need the extra pressure of feeling like you have to live up to some made up standard. Do what works for you, okay? And all right, I think those are the biggest things I've learned, what I've liked, what I haven't, and what it's like cloth diapering with two, and an update on our storage system. If you have any other questions, like I said, I'll leave those other videos down below, including our whole routine, how to do cloth diapers at daycare, all sorts of things. I'll leave those down below. And if you have any questions that you don't see there, leave them down below and I will do a whole Q&A video about it. I hope this cleared up some of your questions. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.